Ever considered that the most ordinary objects around us, a piece of wood, a metal coin, even the air you breathe, might secretly hold ancient, profound wisdom, hidden right within their atomic core?
It's a fascinating thought.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what we're exploring today. This deep dive uncovers the, well, surprising connection between quantum physics, specifically the structure of the atom, Jewish mysticism, what's known as Kabbalah, which is this profound system exploring the Torah's hidden dimensions and the wisdom of the Torah itself, all through the lens of the union of a man and a woman.
A really unique intersection.
Totally. Our mission today is to sort of crack this secret code, to extract these deep spiritual truths that seem to be embedded right in the fabric of the atom. And our inspiration comes from Rabbi Shlomo Ezagui's article, Atomic Kabbalah, Men, Women, and the Divine Blueprint. It's been featured in some really interesting places, Israel National News, Aret 7, the blogs of Times of Israel, and the article sets the stage beautifully. It starts with a mitzvah, a commandment, from this week's Torah portion, Deuteronomy 24.5, which says, when a man takes a new wife.
So right away, it connects the physical and the spiritual union.
Exactly. That's our launch pad.
And what's truly fascinating here is how these, well, seemingly disparate fields, ancient wisdom and modern science, they just converge so powerfully. This deep dive, it's an incredible opportunity for you to see how they might actually be speaking the same language, revealing this hidden blueprint for existence.
A blueprint, I like that.
That's present in everything around us and, within us too. It's about looking at the world with fresh eyes, finding these profound insights in the universe's most basic building blocks.
Okay, so let's look at that blueprint then, the atom, because even the basics are just astounding.
They really are.
An atom, as you know, is the smallest unit of any substance. Literally everything, physical elements, objects, it's all made of these fundamental particles.
The bedrock of reality, in a sense.
And the scale, the numbers are just mind-boggling. Imagine this. Increase an atom to the size of a tennis ball. Okay?
Got it?
Now take a regular tennis ball and increase that by the same ratio.
Okay. Where's that get us?
That tennis ball becomes the size of the Earth.
Wow. That really puts it into perspective.
Doesn't it? So inside this tiny universe, you've got the nucleus at the center. Contains positively charged protons and neutral neutrons.
Right, the core.
Then, buzzing incredibly quickly around this nucleus, you have the negatively charged electrons.
The outer part.
And here's where it gets, really counterintuitive. Despite their tiny mass, electrons take up over 99% of the atom's volume.
So much space.
Which means atoms are mostly empty space. Take hydrogen, the simplest one. It's about 99.99% empty. That proton at the center, it's minuscule compared to the atom's overall size.
It really challenges our perception of solid, doesn't it?
Completely.
Absolutely. And this vast amount of space, the electrons' movement, it's not just, a scientific fact. It actually forms the basis for a deeper exploration of what material reality is.
It makes you question everything.
It does. And adding another layer, you mentioned the particles. Protons are way heavier than electrons, about 1,836 times heavier.
Whoa.
And neutrons, they're even slightly more massive than protons. So these relationships add sort of depth to how these tiny structures work.
Okay.
And the electron's movement isn't just about volume. It pretty much determines the atom's size and, crucially, how atoms bond together, to make everything.
Right. The chemistry happens with the electrons. So if the atom is this miniature universe, mostly empty, filled with this dynamic dance, how do we bridge that to Jewish mysticism? Where does the Kabbalah connection come in?
That's the key question, isn't it? The source article brings in a beautiful quote from Ecclesiastes 3.11. Also, the wisdom of the world he put into their hearts. Meaning, it suggests this profound idea that everything in the big world, even the tiniest atom, reflects a larger cosmic truth that exists inside each of us. Kabbalah is all about looking for those hidden patterns.
Right.
So if we interpret the atomic charges symbolically, the positive charge of the proton, that can represent masculine energy.
Right.
The negative charge of the electron, that represents feminine energy.
Makes sense.
And the neutrality of the neutron, that symbolizes Godly balancing force.
The unifier. So a symbolic framework, masculine, feminine, and divine balance. Are they just there, or do they need to interact?
Oh, they absolutely must work together. That's the whole point. Together, these energies embody the essential harmony needed, not just for procreation, but for healthy family dynamics and even, cosmic stability.
Cosmic stability from an atom.
Well, symbolically, yes. There's a saying in the tradition, if peace, another name for God Almighty, is here, everything is here. Kabbalah teaches that all existence is shaped by these opposing yet complementary forces.
Masculine and feminine, positive and negative.
Exactly, all connected through divine harmony. So the proton is the masculine energy, the electron is the feminine, and the neutron embodies that unifying balance holding them together.
It really is like a blueprint inside the atom.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something about Hebrew letters. That adds another layer, right?
Indeed. This is truly insightful. The difference between the Hebrew words for man, ish, and woman, isha, are the letters yud and he.
Just two letters.
It's just two letters. But in mystical traditions, these aren't just letters. Yud often symbolizes divine wisdom, that masculine energy. He represents divine presence, feminine energy.
Okay.
And when you combine just those two letters, Yud and He, they spell part of God's name. Yeah.
Oh.
It symbolizes that when the Yud, man, and the He, woman, unite in divine blessing, they form a sacred union, one that embodies God's comprehensive, all-encompassing power.
So the union itself reflects divinity.
Precisely. It highlights that essential balance needed in relationships and in creation itself. It signifies a partnership that actually brings divine providence into the world.
That's really profound. The idea that language itself mirrors these cosmic truths about partnership. But someone might hear that and think, okay, beautiful metaphor. Is there more to it in Kabbalah? Why those letters?
Oh, it's seen as much more than metaphor. It's considered a reflection of divine structure itself. In Kabbalah, Hebrew letters aren't just symbols. They're seen as the actual building blocks of creation, each carrying spiritual energy.
Building blocks. Great.
Yud, it's the smallest letter, right? Often represents a point of divine potential, wisdom, that masculine aspect. He, with its sort of open shape, signifies receptivity, revelation, the feminine presence.
Different aspects of the divine.
Exactly. So when these two, representing distinct divine qualities, come together to form part of God's sacred name, it points to a fundamental truth. Divine wholeness and manifestation in our world happens through integrating these complementary energies.
A cosmic partnership, mirrored right there in the language.
You've got it.
Okay, that deepens it significantly. Let's pivot back to one of those particles, though. The neutron. We think neutral, maybe passive. But you said it's actually the heaviest of the three main particles.
That's right.
That feels important. What does its weight and neutrality imply, scientifically and, well, mystically?
It's a great point. Scientifically, that mass and neutral charge are critical. They stabilize the nucleus. They balance out the repulsion between all those positive protons.
So without neutrons?
The nucleus would fly apart, protons repel each other. The neutron acts like the essential heavy glue holding the atom's core together.
The glue of stability.
Exactly. And in Kabbalistic terms, this has incredible symbolic weight, no pun intended. The neutron, with its mass and unifying role, represents that essential harmonizing force, often called the middle pillar.
The middle pillar.
Yeah, it's not passive at all. It's an active, powerful presence that unites the opposing energies, masculine, feminine, positive, and negative.
So the neutral particle isn't weak. It's the strong stabilizer, preventing chaos, embodying God's presence as the ultimate unifier. It really changes the meaning of neutral.
Precisely. Its relative size emphasizes how crucial it is to include God. That balance, that unity, not just in the atom, but in the whole cosmos. It shows harmony isn't some minor thing. It's a powerful, vital force needed for stability and creation. It actively prevents fragmentation.
A really profound way to look at it. But the parallels keep coming, don't they? Let's talk about the electrons again.
Yep.
What happens with them connects to ancient wisdom in another amazing way.
Right, the orbits.
Yeah. Scientifically, electrons orbit the nucleus in up to 7 distinct shells, or energy levels.
Up to 7, depending on the atom.
And then you look at a traditional Jewish wedding ceremony. What does the woman do under the chuppah, the canopy?
She circles the man 7 times.
Exactly, 7 times. It's not just random tradition. It directly mirrors those up to 7 energy levels in larger atoms, symbolizing complete protection, spiritual unity.
It's a beautiful resonance.
And it keeps going. There are 7 days of celebration after the wedding, the shaver brachot, with 7 blessings recited.
7 blessings.
It's like this cosmic echo, a design signature appearing on different scales.
Which brings up the question, why 7? That number is deeply significant in Jewish mysticism. You see it everywhere.
Like where else?
Well, think about the 7 heavens, different spiritual realms, the 7 days of creation marking completion. Even in celebrations like Simchat Torah, we dance with the Torah scrolls in 7 circuits, Hakafat. It symbolizes holiness, joy, completeness.
Completeness. That seems key.
Yes. So the electron's potential 7-fold orbit physically embodies the sacred number. It highlights this tangible link between spiritual teachings and what science observes. It's almost like the universe is designed using these significant numbers.
Demonstrating a kind of divine order.
Precisely.
So the atom really does act like a miniature universe, a small-scale reflection of the cosmos. And the interplay of male, positive, female, negative, and neutral energies. It symbolizes core aspects of existence, connection, giving us clues about our own lives.
Absolutely.
Let's zoom in on the electron again, symbolizing women in this model, occupying most of the space, being the connective force linking atoms.
Right, forming molecules, forming everything.
That connects directly to the idea of women as unifiers in families and communities. The Talmud even says in Yuma that a person's home is primarily defined by his wife.
And a foundational role.
And conversely, the protons, the core, representing a more potent foundational force, symbolizing men, as mentioned in Talmud Kedushin.
The core energy.
So you have the core and the encompassing connecting force. It sounds like both are absolutely vital, but different, right? Is one seen as more important?
No, that's the critical point. And it aligns perfectly with Kabbalistic teachings on the male-female relationship. Both energies are absolutely essential for a healthy atom, for balance, for well-being in the home, in society.
No hierarchy, just necessary difference.
Exactly. Distinct, complementary roles that must be harmonized to create wholeness. These ideas aren't just interesting parallels, they highlight timeless wisdom in Torah traditions that science seems to be increasingly reflecting.
It's powerful seeing ancient texts as reflecting universal principles, even down at the subatomic level.
Exploring this intersection of faith and science really encourages a deeper appreciation for these enduring truths about partnership and balance.
Okay, let's dive even deeper. What does this mean for how we see reality itself? We talked about atoms being mostly empty space filled with particles just whizzing around. That's still hard to grasp.
It is.
It makes you feel, well, not very solid at all, does it?
Exactly. And that's not just a scientific curiosity. It fundamentally challenges our perception of reality. If something we experience as solid is mostly void, what does that say about existence itself? This aligns incredibly well with the Kabbalistic concept of Ein Sof, the infinite, the unknowable divine source. It's often thought of as transcending and permeating all physical reality, almost like the ultimate empty space from which everything emerges.
So the atom isn't just a speck, it's a cosmic mirror, showing us a blueprint for how balance and connection actually work, not just physics, but in our lives. So what's the practical takeaway? How can we use this wisdom?
Well, in Kabbalistic thought, the physical universe reflects spiritual forces through the 10 sephirot. These are like divine emanations or attributes.
Channels, almost.
Channels, attributes, yeah. Through which God interacts with the world, balancing masculine and feminine qualities, shaping creation. The atom mirrors this cosmic system.
How so?
The electron's orbit representing polarity, the neutron embodying that harmonic balance needed to stop destructive conflict. It reinforces that idea of a middle pillar, integrating opposites into a stable, harmonious whole.
The middle pillar again. Balance.
Right. And remember the teaching that God put the world inside of us. It suggests each person carries a reflection of the entire universe within them.
We contain the blueprint.
Exactly. Which implies that the practices of Judaism aren't just arbitrary rules. They embody harmony and synergy with the universe, spiritually and physically. This inner dynamic mirrors the outer dance of atoms. It encourages respect, balance, harmony within ourselves and our communities.
Okay, so the practical lesson.
The practical lesson is this. Just as a stable atom needs positive, negative, and neutral forces working together, masculine, feminine, and divine unity, our families, our communities, they need balanced relationships. Relationships that respect both masculine and feminine energies.
It's active work.
It is. It's a call to actively cultivate that unifying neutron force in our own interactions, to be the peacemaker, the stabilizer, the binder. When we do that, we create miniature versions of divine peace and wholeness in our daily lives.
So it's a blueprint for living, really. Harmony isn't an accident, it's the fundamental operating system.
That's a great way to put it. It's the core design.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive this has been. We've really seen how synthesizing modern physics, Jewish tradition, Kabbalistic wisdom, it paints the atom not just as a building block, but as this sacred dance. Positive, negative, neutral energies.
A dynamic balance.
Yeah. And this model, It invites us to re-examine everything, not just the physical world, but the complex dynamics in our relationships, our spiritual lives. It really is all connected, from the tiniest particle to the biggest spiritual truths.
So maybe the thought to leave you with is this. Given this profound connection between the atom structure and these ancient truths about balance and unity, how might understanding these universal blueprints deepen your own quest for harmony in your personal life, in your communities? Perhaps it encourages you to look around, to consider where else these interconnected patterns might be showing up in your own world. It invites a continuous exploration, finding that profound wisdom embedded everywhere in creation.